This is it. We are thinking 2017 thoughts one last time, and then we're moving on to bigger free agent signings on 2018, hopefully. The amount of my team hasn't done enough feedback that we've gotten, more popular than ever. Newsflash, most of the big free agents are hanging around. Save the panic for at least a month from now. Save it for February. So let's do this. A little remember when sesh for 2017, and I'll mix in some of the trendy words and phrases of the year. It'll be good for you. That's what I'm here for. So let's start in March, before the MLB games even counted. Every few years, we're blessed with ultra-competitive hardball, and the WBC is low-key no more. Calling some early round games in Miami was the best baseball environment I've ever been a part of. A World Cup crowd, watching an all-star game, especially when it was U.S. versus Dominican Republic, and many players calling it the most important baseball of their entire life. The Adam Jones catch, epic, and then ultimately Team USA is king of the baseball world for the first time ever. Now we'll start the regular season. Young, a rookie invasion. 2 words recited in 2017 more often than ever. All rise. Aaron Judge goes from big potential to big man on campus in the Bronx. 52 home runs later, and the AL leader in walks and strikeouts, which was very unique. He made the Yankees kind of lovable this year, right? Don't worry, they're back to the evil empire with the Stanton edition. Cody Bellinger, your beast too. Honorable mention to the big boys, Rhys Hoskins, Matt Olson. If only they had a full season to rack up the homers, we might have been talking about them even more. Homers, 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 left and right, and to center. It was all about the long ball, the launch angle, and you know when it really hit me? June. The record home run pace was soaring at that point still, and then it was the little Scooter that could. He did. It was the most unlikely 4-homer game ever. Scooter Gennett, 17 total bases, 38 homers in his first 1,755 at-bats, and then that happened. J.D. Martinez actually snuck in a 4-homer game too, but that was NBD. We expect that from J.D. Kong, the new moniker given to him by his super agent Scott Boras. King Kong Slug, J.D. Kong, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, Giancarlo Stanton's 59 home runs, which stole the show. And then to pull that off with half your games in that huge house in Miami, incredible. And then he steals JD's offseason thunder by landing in Broadway. So we'll see if JD gets the last laugh with a Boston signing that I think needs to happen. Also, sidebar, JD would have been right there with Stanton at 59 if he didn't miss the beginning of the season with the foot injury. Over a month, he was out. So homers per at-bat ratio for JD Martinez actually better this year than Giancarlo. The ultimate opposite field power experience in the game right now, and he's still up for grabs. JD and Giancarlo keeping it cool, too, when they're rounding the bases. They act like they've been there before. Although, I have no problem with being extra. Celebrations, we love them. The Yankees thumbs down, dude. That became their thing. Thumbs up on that. Fernando Rodney still chucking arrows. Never changed, Fernando. Hashtag tweet your friend, always knowing where the camera's at. And challenging himself on doubles since he delays it by a couple seconds with the bat flip. And remember the famous tweet in the postseason? He doesn't bat flip homers. He is not the bat flipping king, though. I know he hasn't been in the playoffs, but Odubel Herrera, he is fair to all batting scenarios. He flips for literally anything. Look at this. Homers, base hits, walks, foul balls. He might start flipping before the pitch even comes across home plate, but don't do that, Odubel. They're going to call it a strike. A few things we can all agree on that are beautiful. Chris Coughlin, not with a slide, but this elegant glide safely into home. Kids, do not try this at home. But the somersault over Yadi Molina, awesome. Remember Austin Jackson flying over the teeny bullpen wall at Fenway Park in August? And he held on to the baseball. Flashback for me to Torrey Hunter coming up empty on the Big Papi Grand Slam that tied Game 2 of the 2013 ALCS. This time, Jackson comes up with the baseball, unlike Torrey. And I actually put Billy Hamilton's catch a week later up there, too. This was also in August. Sprinting back. He never even turns around. It's like going to the slam dunk contest in the NBA, and you think everything's been done before, and it usually has. But then someone creates something new. That was Billy Hamilton with that catch. Basket catch to the side so he can embrace the wall with the rest of his body. I'm like, who does that? And then also, Nolan Arenado and Andrelton Simmons, still the best? Yes, Hundo P. They're the finest of the infield. Byron Buxton, the new king of the outfields. And then there's the ugly. Hunter Strickland versus Bryce Harper. Savage mode. Gary Sanchez in the Yankees-Tigers brawl. That was sus. I'll help you out with this one. Not cool, Gary. That ball that also stuck to Yadi Molina's armor, also sus. So sus is suspect. Shady. It's the only one I'm going to give you. Boston's Apple Watch sign stealing, also sus. You know, we only had one no-hitter again this year. Pitchers don't last as long as they used to. Second year in a row, one no-no. Only Jake Arrieta in 2016, Edinson Volquez this time, and he did it on an emotional night. The birthday of the late Yordano Ventura, his teammate, former teammate. He also honored the late Jose Fernandez down in Miami. Special night. We still had some nasty pitching in the year of the home run ball. Scherzer, Sale. Oh, and Kluber owned the second half of the season. That was one of my favorite breakdowns of the year. Mark DeRosa on MLB Central. Club Kluber, where nobody has fun and every dude strikes out. His club was smiling, though. 22 wins in a row late in the year. I never thought I would see the day. A great movie with a perfect ending. Jay Bruce walk-off in the 10th over KC for number 22. Perfect regular season ending. He's not stealing headlines like some other big bats, but 5'9" Jose Ramirez also on that team, the real deal. 91 extra base hits, led the American League. That long-term extension with the Indians worked out with him in spring training. That was so clutch. So Kluber, Lindor, Ramirez, the 22 gamer. That's how we will remember the Indians in 2017. Then you had the ALDS battle with the Yankees, fierce. Joe Girardi's replay review mishap. We were all over him. Francisco Lindor, follow-up, granny, there it goes. And then ultimately redemption for Joe in Game 5, and then the letdown for Joe again when he's let go after falling a game short of the World Series. So let the Aaron Boone era begin. Leading the pinstripes, he'll do great. The Brewers and the Twins, super surprises. They were lit this year. Low expectations, big games, bro. Players Weekend, creative. The Little League Classic, pure fun, and they're going to do it again. That's great. StatCast creating new and better stats, brilliant. Thanks, guys, over there at MLB Advanced Media. Looking at the solar eclipse without the special sunglasses, not smart. And Astros equals squad goals. Remember Jose Altuve saying, I literally love Justin Verlander. And then JV's like, I literally love the AL MVP back. I love when streaks are broken. Think about this. How many great ones have gone down lately? Whether it's playoffs, World Series appearances, you have the Pirates making it, 4 or 5 years back, the Royals finally getting in, then they won a World Series title, same with the Chicago Cubs, that was the ultimate, and now the Astros. Plus a return to the Fall Classic for the Dodgers, too. This World Series was bananas. Let's spend a minute on the World Series. Game 2, we said one of the best ever. Game 5, we said one of the best ever. And that Game 5 was another level for me. That was the best. I grew up loving video games. My dreams came true. Video game in real life, back and forth we go. They kept tying it up, tons of home runs. The critical mistake of the entire World Series in my mind. I cannot get over Yu Darvish staying in that Game 7 for so long. I'm still up at night thinking about it. No team pulls pitchers like the Dodgers, and I'm fine with that. You could tell it wasn't going to work for him. The flat slider, the Astros were all over it. 2-0 deficit after 1 inning. That's doable for the Dodgers. 5-0 comebacks, they don't happen often. So cheers to Houston. The majority of the world was wondering why Justin Verlander wasn't an Astro sooner, and then it really happened with a second to spare, and he was really the final piece of the puzzle. And then what we just saw, Carlos Correa proposing right after the win, hashtag couple goals. And now it's cold, it's winter, we're still waiting for the hot stove to warm us up. Wade Davis, that's one, but there's so many more. The front office is right now bigger, stronger, smarter than ever, but they still search far and wide to try and find the next great communicator to lead the squad. Don't sleep on the great manager. They're looking for the next AJ Hinch. I'll also look back and laugh at people crushing the Marlins. When they have a sustained winner eventually, and they will, do you really think Derek Jeter's going to fail? I spoke to former Marlin Tom Kohler this week, who pitched with them for a few seasons. He was on those teams. He said it, not me. He's like, yeah, we weren't good, so it makes sense to me. No pitching, no farm system, 77 wins when the division is that weak. That's not going to cut it. You'll thank the new ownership group later. That's it. 2017. Bye, Felicia. You're done like the dab. Hello, 2018. This offseason's been less predictable than the daily value of the Bitcoin. We're going to keep sitting here with our fidget spinners, waiting for the inevitable. Pandora's box will open. It's going to be free agent signing bliss, also coming soon. A pitch clock, a limit on timeouts. Yes, catchers, you have been warned. Less shiny bases, we can call it, after the Bryce Harper slip. A few extra off days on the schedule. More reworked swings to ride the launch angle wave, and way more pitches up in the zone to counter that. Also, more six-man rotations, the return of the two-way player in baseball. Shohei Ohtani. I love this game. What will you remember most from 2017 and/or what's getting you excited about 2018? Bring it 844-643-HEAT, and I'll take Twitter and Instagram stuff after the show. Bruce, what'd you think?
Well, First of all, that was very impressive, so kudos to you for that. I agree with regards to the individual takeaway. And let's face it, 2017 was going to be an impossible act to follow in lieu of the apocalyptic event we had in 2016 with the Cubs winning that World Series for the first time in like 16, 17 generations. Judge and Bellinger, the historical rookie seasons, and location. The fact that it happened, New York, Los Angeles, yes, East Coast, West Coast bias, it does matter. Mm-hmm. So that was my great individual takeaway with regard to at least two players that we're talking about here. The other is the Astros, and you touched on most of what they did and the horrible events in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey and getting Verlander basically 30 seconds.
It was perfect, right? Perfect
up
story.
to the deadline. But furthering that, when you look at style points and what they did, first of all, they beat 3 flagship franchises in the run to their first ever championship. The Boston Red Sox, the New York Yankees, and the Los Angeles Dodgers. That is no small factoid. They beat Sale, they beat Chapman, they beat Kenley Jansen, they beat Clayton Kershaw. I mean, they did this every which way imaginable. Last week Chris and I did our top individual moments of 2017. His was the 3-run home run by Gurriel off of Kershaw that tied that game 5 you alluded to. For me, it was the Marwin Gonzalez game-tying home run off of Kenley Jansen.
I agree.
That tied the game in Game 2. That simply changed everything. The only drawback from the Fall Classic 2017 was just the anticlimactic Game 7, and I think, unfortunately, that's how people are going to remember that series. But that was one of the great all-time Fall Classics that those two teams put forth.
And I'm with you on Marwin Gonzalez over Kenley because Kenley for the entire season was untouchable, and finally they pulled it off.